When you clicked on the thumbnail to see this video, like me, you probably had an image of your mind from any of the Frankenstein movies you probably have seen. While the movies are very entertaining, I haven't seen one that really did this story justice, or at least didn't tell this story as it was written. Today I'm going to share my thoughts on this excellent classic story by Mary Shelley. I hope you enjoy it. I read the original 1818 story, the way it was written then, by Mary Shelley. And I read the Dover Thrift version of the story. So that's what this video is based on. The story, compared to any of the movies, the story gave me some really big surprises, 4 surprises in all. So today I'm going to talk about those surprises. I'll say right up front, I highly recommend that you read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's a lot different than the movies, and it's a very entertaining story. So let's go ahead and get this video started. First surprise, the story opens with 4 letters written by Robert Walton to his sister Margaret. In these letters, he expresses his excitement for the quest that he's on, to venture to the North Pole. He says, "I shall satiate my ardent curiosity with the sight of a part of the world never before visited, and may tread a land never before imprinted by the foot of man." We stay with Robert Walton through his 4 letters until he meets Victor Frankenstein. The second surprise for me was the language of the story. The language of the time, I'm guessing. But it was very descriptive writing, very entertaining. I will say that for some, it may be a little hard to read. So I would suggest read it kind of slow, take your time. This story is less than 200 pages, so even if you read it slow, it's not going to take very long to read. The narrative is very descriptive, particularly in the scenery of the area. The descriptions were so vivid, so easily I could envision the beauty as well as the ruggedness of the landscapes. Victor Frankenstein spends a lot of time in the Swiss Alps, and he describes Mont Blanc and other locations very well. And although I know nothing of Switzerland, I was really able to visualize what he was describing. It was very well written. The third surprise for me was Victor Frankenstein himself. As he tells his story to Walton, you clearly see his many obsessions, particularly in the area of science. A bit of a flaw for me was that a quite large bit of time goes by at which Frankenstein doesn't ponder, where is the creature? What is the creature doing? He doesn't think of that for a very long time. I'm kind of surprised that Mary Shelley left that out, because I think in a stretch of time he would at least wonder what the creature was up to. The fourth surprise for me was the Frankenstein's creature. I say creature, not monster, because while there is an element of horror in this story, the creature is actually very emotional and will draw a lot of emotion from you. I'm kind of surprised that this story is often said to be the mother of all horror. Again, there are horror elements for sure, but this story is more of a journey, an emotional journey of Victor Frankenstein, his creature, and certainly your emotions as you read along. This story will move you. Something I found to be a flaw in this story is the creature's vocabulary. While there is an explanation of it in the story, I felt it fell short. The creature is incredibly well spoken. Of course, Shelley didn't have the visuals we have in movies to tell the creature's part of the tale. He had to be able to speak. But would he speak like a college professor? I'm actually very astonished that Mary Shelley was able to cram so much story into so few pages. This novel's about well, it's actually less than 200 pages, but she crammed at least a 700-page story into it, and I was very impressed by that. You will be surprised. You'll sit down and read this skinny little book, but you will walk away feeling that you had read quite a full novel. I was very impressed with that. Again, I very highly recommend reading this story. I think, like me, you'll be quite surprised. While the movies are really good, I've enjoyed quite a few of them, particularly the older ones. But this story is unique, and the descriptive writing is very, I thought, in places beautiful. The storyline and the plot are very gripping. You will stay with the story. It's hard to put it down. And again, I was very impressed with the amount of emotion, both in the characters and in how it moved me emotionally. I really think you'll enjoy this story. You should get a copy and check it out. Here's a best case scenario. You are alone, near a window or a fireplace, with a pleasant cup of coffee, tea, or cocoa. Give yourself the time to slowly read along and let this story take you where it goes. Well, we're at the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed this book review. I will be doing more book reviews as well as the story reviews. You may have seen a couple of those on my channel thus far. I hope to bring a lot of interesting stuff in future videos, so please subscribe, stick with me. I hope I'll entertain you and inform you. Please hit that little thumbs up. That'll help my little channel grow. And please leave comments. Let me know what you think of the video. What do you think of the story? If you've read Frankenstein, or if you read it after seeing this video, let me know what you think. Do you agree with me that it's a very moving and emotional story? Do you think it's better than or worse than the movies? I personally liked the story better than the movies. I really did. Well, until next time, I'm Rod Gilley. I'm a writer.